being a womanizer, my personal estimation, I could only say he was admired for what he was.
Nous sommes un pays mais ce n'est pas la magnifique danse de tout. Donc on n'a pas d'essai de technique comme ça. On va parler de Rizal et comment Rizal peut confronter les jeunes d'aujourd'hui.
So I will, it's a genius, and as we just heard, he was the most admired Filipino by women. I used to lecture like that. Three important points, which I think are fundamental in Rizal's writings, that all men are equal, and it is because of that appreciation of dignity. The equality of all men, question of exclusion are all. So when you ask the question, at the good civilization before, then we start at that. I think many of you are familiar with textbooks of Filipino people. Rizal has been fighting against discrimination, racial discrimination, colonial oppression of all forms, And in the Philippines, it took especially the radical form of what the propagandists had called the tyranny of the friars. It was the Spanish military, the Spanish clergy, the functionaries, the Spanish functionaries, who were the oppressors, who were the purveyors of this discrimination, of this exclusion. But in our society today, in the Philippines, maybe they are no longer friars, or maybe they are still Jesuits, believe in the equality of men, and it is undignified for any man. To young people, the hope of the fatherland, I think we have a fiscal manifesto talk of the formation of a La Liga Filipina. And to me, as a reader of Rizal, there was only a Philippine colony at that time, called by the Spanish Las Islas Filipinas, una colonia española. Political sociology of the Philippines. And I really think this is a problem. You are Ilocanos, you are Pampangues, you are Canteños, you are and the same way I am the Kalinga, the others are Malumo, and so on. But we are all Filipino citizens because we accepted to sign the constitution called Republican ng Pilipinas. But then we can only do this, or we can only come to this when we get educated. Rizal, and this is the fourth point I would like to draw attention to. Rizal insists that only a society with educated citizens can hope to progress, because only educated citizens will understand what it means to be free, what it means to obey just laws. And that is why he insisted on education, and he even founded a school. And that's why he insists on knowledge. Knowledge. Where did he get all these ideas of freedom, liberty, fraternity? He read it first in the Ateneo de Manila. It was inculcated by the parents, and it came to Europe, as you have heard, by the previous speaker. He learned all of it. He learned. Rizal is an educated man, well educated. And his conception of education according to the idea of the Renaissance. Now, we can have other notions of education today, especially today, wherein people are saying, oh, oui, on a du boulot, mais on n'a pas de quoi à manger. In France. What is education? Is it to have the boulot to manger? Then we should start raising this kind of question. What was education for Rizal? Education for Rizal was to be able to liberate. According to what he has learned from the Jesuits, it's not new. Rizal learned this from the Jesuits. But what is important is that Rizal was very, very much attuned to the new ideas, the liberal ideas, the liberation in the sense that you must use your knowledge to be able to improve not only yourself, but your relation with others in the society. That's why education is the instrument for the transformation of society for itself. And I think this is a very advanced anthropological, sociological, and historical knowledge. It is only through enlightenment education that men can be liberated, because ignorance is the source of slavery. So in his ultimo adios, he says, I will rest in peace because I am going where there are no tyrants.
Questions? And I also want to welcome our young students. I tried to say this earlier. We're very happy to see young people here today. And although you are very few, you are brave ones who have come. But thank you very much, and we're very happy to have you here. So, any questions from our audience?
When we consider the fact that the question, what is his relevance to our lives now? We are all, most of us are migrants, and we have come, like Jose Rizal, from a colonized country. We are still colonized culturally in the Philippines. And we have traveled abroad to confront our colonizers, actually. And we rediscovered colonization in France. I personally can understand that the French are colonizing people, and the colonization continues. My question is, well, the more I hear your talks, the more I realize that Jose Rizal was a product of colonization par excellence. And I would like to know, first of all, if, because I get the impression that Jose Rizal had a complete break with the past, the Philippine past, or am I wrong? Because I don't, please tell me if in his writings he has done an analysis of our history, because like now we have been colonized also into thinking that the West is a country of égalité, fraternité, liberté. And the more I live here, the less I believe in that. And I'm beginning to think more in terms of, I find that all these things that I find them in the tribes in the Philippines, among the Teguray, among the Tiboli, among the Blaan. And why did I travel so far to discover something that we already have? Did Jose Rizal in any of his writings ever talk about the tribal Philippines.
Precisely, it's like when he came to Europe, it's like when you were first who came to Europe, he came to realize that things better. And it was that realization when he undertook the adaptation. And he undertook to read whatever he could of what has been written about the past. But again, as I have said, the thing is that Rizal, of course, as I have said, there is no such thing as a Filipino nation or a Filipino country to speak of. That's why he had to look at a beginning, a starting point of talking of a national entity. And he could only find it in the Malay past. So Rizal could not be expected to write as we would do today. He has written about a Malay past, which many anthropologists, archaeologists, prehistorians are trying precisely to define today.
And he was already, he made research on the ethnography of Mindanao by Ferdinand Buti, and in fact in 1890s he was preparing to translate it. Remember, Buti taught it in German and nobody has translated that to Tagalog or to Spanish. And when Rizal was here as part of his desire to enlighten the Filipinos, to know more about the Filipinos, he understood his work. So that's one. Second, he came to know in Germany, he came to be a member of the German Ethnographic Society, of the German Geographical Society. And the people who were members of these geographers and ethnographers were studying Southeast Asia, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, etc. He met these specialists, Yangur, Rachel, etc. And he made a study of their writings. And in the society, he gave also lectures about the Philippines. Now, he came to know of a German writer who was been studying Cordilleras. We call it now the Cordilleras. And in fact, when he went back to Manila, the first thing that he did was to send samples of typical sculpture to Germany. And this, by the way, are in exhibit in their museums. So that is how far he has gone to study what we call tribal groups, or what is called minorities, or what now, under the present terminology, we call them the IPs, indigenous people.
And he said, no, these are not my people. So we cannot blame Rizal. He was also as ignorant as anybody else at the time, with many of the Filipino population. Is an American invention. Or, if at all, at least structurally, a Spanish invention. But une nation, as we understand in political science, like nation is group of nations or European nations, and this is part of being part, the peoples of the Philippines. Hello? I don't know if we as people, we pay attention to this, because they come out unconsciously. He says in his book, the Muslims in the Philippines. And I was a young faculty member of UP, I think it was in the second year. I asked him, Guru, why did you not title your book The Muslim Filipinos? You know what he did? He said to me, shut up! You are pronouncing sacrilegious words. I had a shock of my life. Because Mabur was very briefly, we were the only two minorities in the UP faculty. I was ignorant and he was the Muslim. So he was very patronizing to me. But when I asked him, Guru, why do you call it the Muslims in the Philippines? Why not Muslim Filipinos? I thought we are all Filipinos. He said to me, you shut up. These are sacrilegious words. So I then known to me. This fellow who has written books on the constitutional ideas of Apolinario, Mabini, and all of that, he does not believe in the Filipino nation. I am not inventing it, I am just citing it. In Rizal also, La Liga Filipina. Up to date, I as a student of Philippine history and Philippine anthropology, I still raise the question. Who are the Filipinos? Who are we? At least I can only say for myself, I am a Kalinga, but a Filipino citizen of the Republic of Philippines. But if you say, I am a harmonious blend of East and West because I have a necktie here, not down, as we do, then I basically disagree. I am not a Filipino that way. It's not because I speak French that I am French, or that I speak Tagalog that I am Tagalog.
In the law of Cebu, they will answer me in English. You see? And I have another example. The National Conference in Austronesian Linguistics in the south of France. And there were people from all over the world. And there were 3 Filipinos. One linguist from Cuyon Island, one from Kapampangan, and one from Negros. And even when I talk to them in Tagalog, and I really try to speak my best Tagalog, most of the time they will answer me in English. Then I ask them, why then you talk to me in English? And they say, well, Tagalog was imposed. We have to learn it in school, but we're not even learning our own language. Like there is no Cuyonon manuals, no Cebuano manuals, no Kapampangan manuals, and we cannot learn our language, mother tongue, in school. That's it. But I don't know, just for reflection.
Yes, I can do so. Now, in the process of precisely rethinking of the Constitution, I think more people in the Philippines should take this seriously. The rethinking of our Constitution and the redefinition of our political, cultural, and social and economic identities. I think these are very, very serious questions which Rizal have already raised the 19th century. But we have not pursued this idea of education within the colonized country.
Filipino. I consider the Filipinos our brothers. So meaning he did not consider himself a Filipino. And I think a lot of tribal people are like that. It's just that they have never really historically become Filipinos. That's just to follow up on that. But going back to the writings of Jose Rizal, I think that was because of the religious issue. Just aside, some Muslims tell me that Jose Rizal converted to Muslim religion. I would like to have confirmation on that. And secondly, has Jose Rizal written a lot on this religious issue? Because the religious our religious, when was I, a long time ago in the university, where we're not comfortable with the Rizal.
He has his correspondence with other pastors, and he has his letters to the United States, where you have some. But one serious article that he wrote is on the religiosity of and that was the religiosity of Eutychius of the Syria. He says the women, they go to version of Antipolo. They go there. They go also to pray to the version of Namakpakan. And they go also to the version of Makati. They say he was anti-religious and anti-clerical because it's not according to the doctrine of Christianity. As an anthropologist, I wouldn't like to go to discussion. To me, what he was showing something very important, and which is very human. Of course, you go where the Virgin is generous. It's fun. You will not go and pray to the Virgin who is Manamo. You go to pray very
First chapter, chartered January 5, 2008 under Republic Act 646. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Maria Pilar Magano in recognition of her valuable contribution to the first International Symposium Rizal confronts the youth of today, held at Saint-Chasseloup, 64 Avenue Théophile Gautier, 75016 Paris, France, this 27th day of June 2009. Signed, Sir Bernard Pot, KCR, Chapter Commander, Sir Carlos Arnaldo, KCR, Deputy Chapter Commander, Sir Lino Parasque, KCR, Overall Advisor Europe, and yours truly, Sir Antonio Guansing, KCR, Regional Commander Europe. Likewise, the certificate of appreciation from the Order of Knights of Rizal, Dimasalang, France Chapter, Paris, France, Charter, January 5, 2008, under the Republic Act 646. This certificate is awarded to Dr. Esteban Maganon, PhD, in recognition of her valuable contribution to the first International Symposium Rizal confronts the youth of today, held at Saint-Chasseloup, 64 Avenue, Théophile Gautier, 75016, Paris, France. This 27th day of June 2009. Signed, Sir Bernard Pot, KCR, Chapter Commander, Sir Carlos Arnaldo, KCR, Deputy Area Commander, France, Sir Lino Parasque, KCR, Overall Advisor Europe, and yours truly, Sir Antonio Guansing, KCR, Regional Commander Europe. Sir.
Thank you very much. And now we may proceed for lunch.
En Europe, à moins beaucoup. Un autre fait favorable, l'exécution des 3 prêtres philippins, qui sera un acte déclencheur. Gomburza est l'abréviation de 3 noms, va provoquer la crise de conscience nécessaire à la naissance du nationalisme. José Rizal écrit dans une de ses archipels, personne n'avait prévu que ce serait un arsenal de qualité. Mais les autorités civiles, sous la pression du clergé espagnol,
Et je ne sens pas
qui est très rarement apporté, plus des moyens d'étudier
dans votre exposition, je n'entends que
que le mouvement révolutionnaire, j'ai pas fini.
Philippin, dans le sens espagnol, espagnolé, libre.
Quand on considère son voyage à Cuba, hispano-américain.
Pour lutter contre les Espagnols. Donc, il a pu aussi bien dire qu'il voulait partir en tant que médecin, ce qui était tout à fait légitime, et on pouvait bien trouver à redire, c'était un parfait.
Alors, je invité le premier, et je le remercie parce que c'est une amitié longue qui nous unit déjà et nous cherchons toujours à partager, à mutualiser nos connaissances sur les Philippines et c'est toujours un plaisir pour moi. Je remercie très chaleureusement José Rizal, qui est le cœur de la journée qui nous réunit. C'est un personnage historique qui est un très bon compagnon, qui m'a permis de finir pour dire que lors de cette soutenance de thèse, Elisabeth, Bernard, toutes ces événements qui sont partis ont fait l'amitié d'être là et français à l'automne. Alors depuis, je n'ai pas arrêté là. Est-ce qu'on revient à la métropole et que d'ici tout ça, est-ce qu'on peut arriver à ce qu'on appelle une institutionnalisation? Il n'y avait pas ce fruit, cette plante.
Le migrant par excellence à nouveau. Parce qu'elle est venue ici pas seulement pour étudier la médecine, mais courant.
L'exemple de partage du savoir, quand on sait, c'est pas pour soi. Quand on a, c'est pas qu'on connaît 5 racines allemandes ou de vocabulaire allemand.
Peut-être le meilleur sommaire, c'est de dire que, et surtout en ce qui concerne la province
Guilty France, chapter in Paris, France. Charter, January 5, 2008, under Republic Act 646. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Helen Bojan in recognition of her valuable contribution to the first international symposium, José Rizal confronts the youth of today, held at Salle Chaselup, 64 Avenue Théophile Gautier, 75016, Paris, France, this 27th day of June 2009. Signed, Sir Bernard Bott, KCR, Chapter Commander, Sir Carlos Arnaldo, KCR, Deputy Area Commander, France, Sir Lino Paras, KTOR, Overall Advisory Europe, and yours truly, Sir Antonio Guanxing, KTOR, Regional Commander for Europe.
We'll sit down just for a second and we have
Official questions and may I ask everybody to give them a big hand of applause. Palakpakan po na. Yes, I would like to take this opportunity to say a few words in this very first International Symposium of the Knights of Rizal. And we are honored with the presence of our Regional Commander, Sir Tony Guanxing, Area Commander for Belgium, Sir Ruben Olias, the Deputy Chapter Commander of Rizal Chapter Sir Provincialis, and of course, the organizer of this event, headed by our good friend, Chevalier, Deputy Area Commander for France, Sir Soy Arnaldo, and also the Chapter Commander, Sir Bernard Pot, and the Deputy, Sir Deo Moica. This symposium on our national heroes in Rizal have been designed especially for the youth. I am highly gratified that this Dimasalang chapter, and of course, I don't know if we have kababaihan Rizalista we do not have yet. Never mind, or the students of today. This very first vision will serve a training for us, and especially to the youth in the pursuit of our country, and as a pride of the citizen of the world. On one occasion during my term as Deputy Regional Commander in the year 2005, I met Sir Hilario Davides Jr., the former Chief Justice of the Republic of the Philippines, who I discovered was a walking encyclopedia on the life of Jose Rizal. And with a good fortune, I also got to meet Albert Ocampo, Chairman of the National Historical Institute, whose research on Rizal and other heroes are informative, enjoyable reading, most especially in our Philippine Daily Inquirer. So, let me share you some of my experience. When I visited the newly installed Rizal Monument at the Plaza in Antipolo, I stood by at the statue and contemplated about his life, his boyhood, his adolescence, life as a teenager, his love life, his student life, and tried to imagine how he must have felt when, as a boy, he watched the execution of Padre Gomez Burgos and Zamora, and he saw his beloved mother punished by the Spaniards. To me, their Rizal was immortal. All his achievements in the 35 years of life made him a superman, and not an ordinary human being. I read that he excelled in sport, was a fencer, marksman, scientist, physician, a teacher, a scholar, inventor, engineer, farmer, novelist, painter, linguist, educator, businessman, leader organizer, sculptor, playwright, journalist, composer, musician, poet, essayist, naturalist, and historians. Indeed, he is a supernatural being. Today's symposium will surely renew our commitments, especially for the lives of Rizal, in keeping Rizal alive. And I'm deeply honored to be with you on this very first International Jose Rizal Symposium here in Paris. Thanks again to the organizer, and of course to the chief cook who arranged for our lunch. Salamat po sa inyo dyan. It's hope that you are able to pick up sparkles of light to our brilliant speakers on Rizal.
France Chapter, Paris, France, started January 5, 2008 under Republic Act 646. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Sir Elpidio Kaimoy, Ninth Officer of Rizal, in recognition of his valuable contribution to the first International Symposium, Jose Rizal confronts the youth of today, held at Sasluk 64 Avenue Theophile Culture, 75016, Paris, France, this 27th day of June 2009. Signed, Sir Bernard Fott, KCR, Chapter Commander, Sir Carlos Arnaldo, KCR, Deputy Area Commander, France, Sir Lino Paras, Overall Advisor Europe, and yours truly, Sir Antonio Singh, KOR, Regional Commander of Europe. Please. Chapter Commander of Dimasalang, France Chapter, Sir Bernard Fott, and Deputy Chapter Commander, Sir Leo, and of course, the presence of our past Regional Commander for Europe, Sir Lino Paras, and now Advisor and Coordinator Europe, and of course the Chapter Commander or Deputy Chapter Commander of Brussels Rizal Order Chapter, and our area Commander for Belgium, Sir Rudy Paras. Today I will not talk about Rizal anymore because I think we have heard enough. But for me, I never heard enough of Rizal. I always want to hear something about him. There's something new, especially something new. By the way, I didn't ask Madame Helen Gujar about his study of Rizal in Dapitan. If Rizal give a name to his child or unborn child with Josephine Brahe.
Give a name. I'm not sure. I don't think so because he died.
Yeah, unborn.
It seems.
I can assure you. But anyway, in today's event, I admire, of course, all these speakers. I would like to mention Madame Maria Pilar Luna Magano on her talk about Rizal in Paris, but not only in Paris, but in Europe as well, and all over the world in actual fact. And also I would like to thank Mr. Esteban Magano about the Rizal's writings in general, but I think he expound more some controversy about being a Filipino. Now I am questioning myself. Right, and of course, I admire the authority of this speaker, who is not Filipino, Mr. Our Chapter Commander Bernard Fott, about Philippine nationalism. Coming from a foreigner, if you excuse me, you are not a foreigner, you are from France anyway. We are foreigners, not from France. But anyway, the new topic is really admirable. I don't know where you get it. And of course, to Madame Helen Gujar about the Jose Rizal in the Dapitan and the fruits of his involuntary expedition and scientific work in the Dapitan. Really, that is really admirable. In conclusion, I would like to thank, of course, the organizer of this event. Thank you so much for the first international symposium on Rizal confronts the youth today, and I would like to end my short talk by saying, especially to the youth who attended today, that you are the hope of our fatherland, and that is from Jose Rizal. Kayo ang pag-asa ng ating bayan. So please study the works of Rizal, and I hope your mother will start teaching you about the works and writings and ideals of Dr. Rizal. I would like to end the specific objectives of the Knights of Rizal, and maybe someday you will be one of us as a Knights of Rizal. And this is to study and spread the ideals, teaching, and exemplary life of Dr. Rizal, especially to the youth of the land. Number 2, to organize a chapter in all provinces and to undertake such programs and activities which will promote individual commitment to the ideals of Rizal and encourage personal involvement in the contemporary problems of our nation, of the nation. To train and develop the youth in character building, citizenship training, democratic leadership, enlightened nationalism, and dedicated service to the country and people. Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Shall I take a conclusion? Okay. Please put your right hand on top of your left hand and please repeat after me. Non omnis moriar.
Non omnis moriar.
Hindi lahat sa akin ay mamamatay.
Hindi lahat sa akin ay mamamatay. Not everything in me will die.
Not everything in me will die.
Rien en moi ne peut mourir.
Rien en moi ne peut mourir. Thank you.